There we go. There's something there. Good to go? Are they? Yeah, okay, great. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Mark McDonald. I'm the Customer Success Manager at Everbiz. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Everbiz, what we do, some of the things that we focus on in our company. We make a web app where you can create data visualization, which are charts and graphs, essentially. And we're located in Bergen, Norway, which is on the western coast of Norway. Beautiful place. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we really kind of focus on in our company to make the tool that we do. And I'll also talk a little bit about how our customers are using Everviz and some of the problems that we help them solve. I'm also going to show you Everviz. I'm going to show you how to create a chart. It's a very simple 5-step process, 5 clicks basically to create a chart. So let's get into it. So as I mentioned, Everviz is a web app. Bartine, can you? Is a web app. So it runs in the browser and it creates the ability to create a data visualization. And yeah, data visualization, what is that? Again, it's a chart and it's a graph, for example, a line chart or a bar chart, that kind of thing. And the great thing about it is you don't need to know coding. You don't need to have any technical knowledge to use the tool. And we've designed that on purpose so that, for example, a journalist who's working on a time deadline doesn't need to fumble around with any code. They can basically, with a few clicks, create the chart that they need to create based on their data. Or that the same goes for a copywriter working in a marketing team. So there's a lot of different use cases. Basically, you don't need to know any coding to create the chart. You just need to have your data, your numbers. So I'll go into these points in a bit more detail. These are the things, again, that we really focus on, that we spend a lot of time in development. Interactivity, of course, is a huge thing for us. And you can see that a little bit here in this example. This is really why a lot of our customers are coming to us. Here you see the tooltip. So this is basically appearing on mousing over the chart. It's one example of an interactive option that is available in our chart. We have lots of different options, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Works on any device. Our charts are responsive, so they'll work on a desktop, on a tablet, on a mobile phone. And in fact, a lot of our clients, their users are accessing charts on a mobile phone. In some cases, 80% of the readers are accessing charts on a phone. So this is a huge thing. Responsivity is a really big thing for a lot of our customers. Accessibility is also a huge focus area for us. I'll talk again a little bit more about this later on. But this basically means giving people with disabilities the ability to understand the chart. And yeah, so this is just, we put a lot of time and focus into this area, and we're really proud that we can make our charts available for everybody, basically. Custom branding, basically what that means is we have the ability for customers to go in and add their brand profile, their colors, their fonts, to their chart. And so that basically allows them to maintain consistency in the look and feel of the charts that they have published online. So that's our theming concept. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. So what does it do? Yeah, as I said, it's a web app. So you go to a website. Essentially, you take numbers, figures that are located in a spreadsheet, so either an Excel or Google spreadsheet, CSV doc. You take those numbers and you dump them into Everviz. You just copy paste. There's different ways to do it. There's also, we have a live data integration, so you don't even have to copy and paste figures into Everviz. You can connect it automatically. I'll talk more about that later. But essentially, you give the numbers and the figures to Everviz, and you, again, a few clicks and it creates a chart. Here's an example of a line chart. with a few sort of annotations. So you put in the numbers, you get the chart. It's very simple. So I'll go in again into a little bit more detail here about why our customers come to us. Why use Everbiz? What's the whole idea? And again, the theming gets back to the branding that I talked about earlier. A lot of our customers really want to have that consistent look and feel for all of the collaterals they're creating for their websites. And basically creating a template enables, basically that's how it would work. A designer would go in and create a template containing the brand profile of their organization. And then the users would go in, grab that template, create their chart. So it ensures that the user doesn't even have to worry about things like font or colors. It's just built into the tool, it's there. Accessibility, I'm just going to mention this quickly again. This is universal design, right? So this is making sure that everybody can access our charts, everybody can understand them. So this means with the accessibility module that's built into all of our charts, it means that people with disabilities, for example, motor disabilities, visual disabilities, hearing problems, they also can understand the chart. So the chart will, for example, connect to screen reader technology on the user end and just automatically read all of the labels on the chart. For example, the title, subtitle, all of the data on the axis. So this is, again, a huge focus for us. We even have somebody and a team working specifically in this area. We strongly believe we want, first of all, everybody to have access to information. It's a big thing for us. And we also see, and studies show this, that if you make your content accessible through universal design to everybody, that's everybody with disabilities, that's also going to benefit basically every kind of user. So it's sort of a win-win, everybody wins. Again, responsive. So our charts are going to scale down depending on the device or up, depending on the device that you're using. Again, this is huge for mobile viewing. You get your chart on a mobile phone, an iPhone, you're still going to be able to see the tooltips, use the interactivity options. It's just going to be, it's going to work and you're going to be able to see what you need to see. So Everviz is also really easy to use. I'm going to hopefully demonstrate that for you in a second. There's really very little training that's involved to use the tool. And we just designed it that way. We want it to be, after the user creates 1 or 2 charts, they're ready to go. They can just create even more. And we have, some of our customers creating 25 to 30 charts a week. So they really need a kind of a fast pickup. So it's really, there's very little training involved, and it's a pretty easy interface. So there's really a low threshold there to get going. Visual storytelling, I mean, this is huge obviously for a lot of our customers, and everyone down there in Amsterdam is going to understand that term of visual storytelling. Essentially, though, a lot of our customers, whether they're they also work in the media industry, dealing with a lot of figures, a lot of statistics, and these are numbers in a spreadsheet, and that's pretty boring stuff, just numbers on their own. So our charts are part of helping these companies take those numbers and make them into something visual and something more engaging, hopefully. Interactivity, I've talked a little bit about this. I showed the tooltip in the last slide. That's an example. But really, and I'll talk about this in the next slide as well, it really allows the user, when they have access to those interactive options, to go deeper, essentially, into the knowledge or into the information that's being presented in the chart. And what's happening here with a lot of our customers is that they're moving from static to interactive content. So this is a big shift for them. For example, a PNG generated by a PowerPoint. In the past, they would have put that on their website. Now they're looking at something like they want the user to engage with the content, and that's why that's where we come in. So this, again, just building on this idea of interactivity, I just want to mention this really quickly. There has been some research actually in this area. There was a study published earlier this year, University in Norway, using our charts really to compare our charts, which are interactive, with static charts. So there was a big, a lot of testing, a lot of interviews in this study. And they actually found that 77% increase in user engagement versus static charts for some of our charts. Now, the 77% figure is actually for one of our map templates for a map. And really what they saw is that people were able to personalize the content that they were viewing. So they could see the map, they could zoom in to the area that was relevant for them. They could see the tooltip, which showed exact values for that region. Essentially, they were spending more time with the chart. And this is how they actually defined, the study defined user engagement, which is how much time are they spending on the page? So if they saw more time, they calculated that as more engagement. And so, yes, in the case of that chart, they saw a 77% increase in user engagement versus static charts. So that was quite a big hop. And it kind of confirms what we think is that if you give the user these options to work with the chart, then they're going to spend more time with it. They're going to have more opportunity to understand it. They're going to go deeper into the knowledge. Essentially, with any kind of chart, even if it's static, or any kind of visualization, you get this automatic sort of knowledge transfer that happens. But with interactive charts, you can go deeper, and the study author actually said, create your own narrative. And that's essentially what they're doing with the content. They're finding the information a lot easier when you have interactivity built into the charts. So what can you use Everbiz for? Again, it's a tool for creating charts and graphs. You know, a lot of our customers are moving away from Excel. There's nothing wrong with that, you know, creating a pivot chart. And they're moving over to us. Again, the interactivity is a big thing there. So here we have, you know, a pie chart that we've created in Everbiz. In this picture here, you have a pie chart as well, but with mouse over, you can see the tooltip here that appears when you mouse over a certain slice of the pie. And that, again, gives you the detailed value for that slice. And down here, you have the same pie chart, and you have a number of options for downloading the chart. So we can download a PDF or an SVG or also a PNG of the chart. So essentially, let's go ahead and jump into Everbiz. I'm just going to quickly, at this point, show you, you know, how does it work? How do you create a chart? So let's go ahead and jump into Everbiz here. Just connect my computer. Here we are. So we actually, I've already logged in. I've landed on the projects page, and this is sort of like the home page of Everbiz. And when you're logged in as a team, you'll see your charts here. And if you have anybody working on your team, their charts will also appear here. So it's sort of a collaborative area. So that's the project homepage. But let's go ahead and just create a chart. And to do that, I'm going to click up here, New Project, and this opens the project wizard. And you get a number of options already here. You can create a chart, a map, a table. Tables are still great for communicating really detailed information. And layout allows you to combine basically different charts into one view, or multiple charts into one view. So for this demo, I'm going to go ahead and create a chart. And again, this will open the project wizard. You can see there's 5 steps here to creating your chart. Essentially, you just have to scroll through here if you wanted to, and on step 5, you could publish your chart. That's how easy it is. In the first step here, type, you get to see all of the different sort of templates, chart types that we provide. You can click on them. You see a little animation here. This is actually the animation that loads if you publish your chart on a website somewhere online. You would also see a little animation, which of course you could turn off if you didn't want to have that. So yeah, so we have over 20 different templates that you can choose from. Some of them are really, really cool and visual. You can read a little bit about them if you're not sure if your data suits this chart type. But I'm going to go ahead and yeah, just create like a basic line chart for this demo. Go ahead and click next. Here's where you would add your own data basically to the chart. We can see actually that all of our charts have dummy data built in. So there's just data here. If you wanted to just play around with the chart, you didn't have any data of your own, you could just use the data that we provide essentially. And you can see that these numbers are actually connected to the chart here. So in the third step, this gets back to the theming that I was talking about earlier, the branding. And this is where our customers would create, we call them templates. And as a user, they would just essentially go in and click the template that they feel like is most appropriate for the data that they're creating or for the story that they're creating. So these templates would obviously have the profile of the company that they were working for. So we just have some sort of example templates here that you can see. But I'll go ahead and use the Everviz template. On the next step, you can actually add a title right away. Unemployment data. Let's go ahead and remove the subtitle. You can see right away in the chart preview that the chart updates right away with your text. And you also get the option to add some annotations if you wanted to at this point. In the next step, step 5, save or publish. Here's essentially if you wanted to take the chart, you were satisfied with it, you could click publish and essentially grab the embed link, copy, put that into your CMS anywhere online, and the chart is live. So it's as simple as that, 5 steps. If you wanted to customize further, you could head into the editor, we call it, and then you have really endless options for customizing your chart according to your exact specifications. But if you wanted to, on step 5, you could essentially publish your chart. So that was the project wizard. Let's jump back in to the slideshow here. So who uses Everviz? This is the sort of the part of the talk where I'm going to mention a few of our customers and really kind of highlight the ways that they're using Everviz. And it's really, really neat to work with these customers on these projects. So I'll talk a little bit about that. But essentially, we do obviously have companies working in the media and publishing industry. Those are the companies I'm going to highlight today. But we have customers in financial services, higher education, government, technology, all across the board. So the first use case I'm going to talk about uses our live data integration option. And essentially what this means is we give the customers the ability to connect a spreadsheet directly to a chart. And the advantage of this is that if the data in the chart changes, the spreadsheet will automatically update, essentially. So this, there's different ways of adding data into Everviz. This is maybe the easiest way because you're just connecting it basically to a spreadsheet. And wherever your chart is published, it will update depending on the data that's put in there. And so essentially, we had a big customer in Norway. They were a big business daily. They were had this plan to create charts and publish the charts on their homepage in their coverage of the parliamentary elections in Norway in 2021. And they'd never done that before. They'd never had live charts on their homepage. So they approached us and they said, how do we do this? And we said, why not use the live data integration? So they had, a team of designers creating the charts. They had data journalists working on the spreadsheets. And we were in the background making sure that this live data integration was a success. And it was. It turned out that they were able to publish these charts on their website for the first time using the live data integration. So this is a business newspaper. They were very happy with that project. And they're going to continue using this in their sort of everyday coverage of financial issues. So a two-way conversation. I mean, this is just in general engagement. And this is really what our customers, a lot of them come to us for. They want to move, as I said earlier, from static content to dynamic content. So from static to interactive. And Everviz is not the only thing that they're looking at. There's other ways that they're doing it on their website, but Everviz is definitely part of the mix. So essentially, you have the example of an online article, and then you could have a chart supplementing that to make it more engaging. And really, it's really fascinating to see because a lot of these customers, they've moved to a more dynamic, interactive environment, and they see the results. They see that their websites are getting more views, and they see that there's more page time being spent on the pages as a result of implementing interactive content, such as charts from Everviz. So that's a great thing to be a part of. This here, a two-way conversation, is actually a quote from a customer, and that's how she felt that their clients were interacting with our content. It wasn't just, static content being pushed at you. They could go in and they could click and they could hide legends and see the content that was really relevant for them. And that's really what we try to help our customers with. I just really want to quickly mention, this is a really cool partnership. This is an awesome company, United Robots there in Sweden. And basically they create AI generated news content. So they have data sources coming into them, a lot of numbers coming into their machines, and they're shooting out articles, machine generated articles for real estate or for sports. And we got together and we said, well, why not take that content that you're creating with your machine generated content and augment it with interactive charts? And why not do that without any sort of human interaction, which is sort of the heart of their product. And we were able to do that. We actually implemented this partnership and this sort of integration, which allows them to include data visualizations together with their AI generated content. So this is a really cool thing. It's a kind of new thing that we've embarked on, and they're seeing a lot of success with that. So that's awesome. So the last thing I'm going to mention is charts over video. And this is a really interesting situation where we have the ability now for our customers to download the chart from Everviz. This came about actually from a major broadcaster in Norway. They were using our charts together with their written articles online. And what would happen is the evening news would come and they would say they would want to reuse that chart for the evening news broadcast. But they realized, well, there's no option to download a video. So they had the issue of recreating the chart, which was sort of a timely thing. They had to, get a designer involved. The designer had to have access to expensive sort of graphic design software. So it was just a timely process when they thought, well, we already have this chart connected to our article online. How can we bring it into the evening broadcast? And this is the solution that we worked with, which was the ability to download a transparent video of the chart and grab the animation that's included in the chart, which I showed you guys earlier. Grab that video, put it on the timeline in the video editing software, and output it and use it in the evening news. So this is just kind of a really neat feature that a lot of our customers are now using. So that was it. That was the end of the presentation. If you guys are looking for more information, you can always go to everbiz.com. You can access the process that I showed you earlier, access the project wizard. We're not going to ask you to create an account. You can just go in there, play around, create a chart. It's easy to do. And if you're looking for to get in touch with us, here's our email address, and we're happy to take any inquiries. So thank you. I don't know if there's any questions from anybody down there. And this sort of integration, which allows them to.
Thanks, Mark. This was perfect. I have all the footage I need, and both you're still going on my TV screen here now. So thank you very much for doing this.
Thanks, Odd.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Very good.
Cheers. Thanks.
Well,
You have a nice evening.
yeah.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
And happy birthday, Odd.
Happy birthday, Odd.
Happy
Oh, no,
birthday.
go.